Okay, this is Mario once again with MIA Microflight, and in this video, this is going to be a video about these power wheel adapters for Ryobi batteries that I am bypassing the switches here because the switches do go bad. They burn, or at least they've been burning on my on my setups. With my applications here, going with two of these in series, powering my go-karts, electric go-karts that use repurposed hoverboard motors. Those motors are 360 watts a piece, so we're talking about a total of 720 watts. If we were to divide that wattage divided by the voltage here, which is nominal 36 volts, 42 volts when it's fully charged. Let's say 40 volts. 700 watts, almost 800 divided by 4. That's about I'm pulling about 20 amps, I would say, if it worst case here. So 20 amps is going to fry these little switches here, because these are only rated at 10 amps. Also, the fact that these are made out, I don't know what kind of plastic they're using here, but it's really ruining these switches, and I've done that twice already because it happened to my other go-kart. So I'm just bypassing those switches and going direct into the tab, those metallic tabs, on the black side on this particular one. Well, on both of them, because they're both connected the same way. So my tip is to just remove that, especially if you're using a throttle type switch throttle that already has the switch there. And you'll notice that I'm keeping on both of these, I'm keeping the fuses. This is rather redundant. You only need one fuse in line with the series connection of these, because these are done in series. But I kept the other one is a redundant feature, just in case I blow one fuse. I can also maintain another one and just connect direct, the wire to the wire. If that were to happen, you can do that. I can just splice them if I'm on the road or something like that. Not that I'm going to be on the road for hours, because these things only last, at the best case, maybe a 15-minute, half-hour run. When I go to the park with my go-karts, and just run them around the pavement, where it's nice and flat, ones, so I can get a little more run time. If you run it on the grass, I also run my go-karts over grassy areas, and that tends to, unless the grass is really flat, it tends to eat up a little more power. So that's my setup here. I just bypassing. So the tip in this video is to do that. You can do that, just simply bypass those switches, unless you're using a less powerful setup, that's pulling 10 amps or less. These are rated 10 amps, and like I just figure out, kind of really quick here, I think I'm pulling about 20 amps or at least more. So in order to remove these screws right here, the first ones that I had to open this up, I had a hard time, because the screws that came with those units, they were triangular, they were delta head shapes, and and I just didn't have the tip for that. But on these, they come with these 6-pointed star head heads. I think they changed that for some reason. The first ones, they were like, oh my God, it was I had a hard time not knowing what type of heads they were until I really looked in there. I finally got one with a flat head screwdriver that fit the in between those three triangular points there, so I was able to get it out. And then I realized, those were 3-pointed head, but these are actually six. And what I'm using is this Husky. These, by the way, are great screwdrivers. So if you don't have one of these, get one of these. They're very useful. This one comes with excuse me, about 8 tips, I believe. And as opposed to the old Huskies, which I really like those old Huskies, the ones with the red cap. I had a few of those, and those were, in my opinion, they're a little more comfortable than this one with this hump here. But I think they did this just to introduce more tips in the handle. But either way, these Huskies are really nice screwdrivers for this type of hobby work here. So that's how I got these screws out. Once I got them out, I removed the switches, and like I said, I'm just going direct to the tab where this other side of the switch was connected. So I'm bypassing that. So that's my tip for these units here. Mario once again with the Miami Microflight. Stay tuned for more videos.